Far away, mate.
Will do. Mark, first of all, we just check the injury news. Arnautovic, Bruno Martins, Indy, Ryan Shawcross.
Ryan Shawcross still unavailable as we sit here. He's been with the physios this week. Don't anticipate he'll be with the main group today, so he's not an option. Marko Arnautovic should be okay. Bruno should be okay. Got a bang on the side of his. Everybody saw it, apart from the FA committee that decides whether or not there should be retrospective action. But hey ho, yeah. But he's okay, thankfully, because we did think that he could have had a fracture in the cheekbone, but that's not the case. So we're delighted with that. So he's okay.
Check on Jeff Cameron as well.
Yeah, Jeff's just got an injury that, given where it is, it's just going to have a little bit more time. Basically, that's what we've been told. It's not a significant tear in the knee ligament. It's only a grade 1, but it's the position where it is. It means that it just needs a little bit more time just to recover. So he's doing his rehab. He's with the physios, but he's not yet joined the main group. But we expect he'd probably be another 2 to 3 weeks, I would think.
I take it Jack Butland's still progressing well.
Yeah, Jack's doing okay. Yeah.
Just with regard to your goalkeepers, what's the plan long term for Lee Grant now? When you look at his save success rate in the division, it's the highest of 87.1% of shots on target saved, and Stoke have picked up an average of 2 points per game in his 9 starts as well. What's the plan long term for
Well, we'd like him to stay, clearly, on the basis of those stats. So, no, he's done exceptionally well, and we're delighted that he's been able to do that. It's not easy when you come into a new club, and given the circumstances, it was a shot to nothing for Lee. In fairness, he thought it was a good opportunity, and he's grabbed it with both hands, you have to say, literally as well. So we want to do something. I think as we speak, we're talking to Derby, and we'd like something to happen, clearly. But as with all these things, it has to be the right deal for us as well. And maybe Derby recognise that there might be a deal that's a little bit more advantageous now than it was maybe 2 or 3 months ago. So that's understandable, I suppose, to a certain extent. But we know the value for us, for Lee. So I think once everybody's sensible and calms down a bit, then hopefully we'll get it done.
So the stage those talks are haggling.
We're haggling, I think. Yeah, good word.
Also, in terms of bringing in players, Fedor Smolov of Krasnodar scored 14 goals in 17 games. The season says that Stoke are England. Is that right?
I'm sure he'd like us to be in for him, I'm sure, because I think everybody wants to come to the Premier League, but he's not a player that I've been made aware of or been told he's on one of our lists. So maybe he's just trying to drum up some interest. We get used quite often in that regard. So maybe I should pay more attention with the goals return of that. But no, he's not one that we've been made aware of.
You've lost just one of the last 9 Premier League games, won 5 in that time as well. How pleased are you with that turnaround?
Yeah, it's a good run for us in the Premier League. Only 1 defeat in 9 games is good form by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think that too many clubs have got a better record in that period. There's only 1 or 2, and it's probably Chelsea, Man City, maybe, I don't know. So yeah, we're pleased with that. We're playing well. We're playing with confidence, and that's important. Big game against Arsenal at the weekend, so clearly you want to go into a game with confidence in your performances, leading into a game against one of the top teams. So where we are game-wise, we're probably in the best place we could possibly be. So we haven't had a great record there, has to be said. It seems that we do well against Arsenal here, and they do well against us at the Emirates. So we'd love to change that around. We've been okay in terms of unwanted records for a long time in the Premier League. We weren't able to get points at Old Trafford or Stamford Bridge, and we were able to do that last year and Old Trafford this year. So I think Arsenal away is probably the only record that we haven't got rid of, the unwanted record. So it'd be great to be able to do that at the weekend.
How do you keep that positive mindset? I mean, the record is you've lost the last 14 away to Arsenal, and Stoke as a club haven't won there since 81-82.
Yeah, well, it's a similar record. Like I said, in the Premier League, we hadn't got a point at Old Trafford. We hadn't got a point at Stamford Bridge. We got a point last year at Stamford Bridge, and this year we were able to get a good performance, good result with a 1-1 draw. So we're ticking them off slowly, but as I said, the Arsenal one is one we struggled probably more with than most fixtures. So it's about time we did something about it.
And is this a side you see, an Arsenal side you see, with a better chance of heading their way for a Premier League title?
I think they're very strong at the moment. You have to say that their form is exceptional, and that's individually and collectively. They've always had outstanding individual players that can win games on their own, even if the team's not functioning particularly well. But at the moment, as a team, collectively, they look in good shape. So although we've got a lot of confidence ourselves, it's not an ideal time to go there, given the form that they're showing at the moment. So it's going to be difficult. But I think the key for Arsenal is that they sustain it. In most seasons, they have runs of exceptional form, but it's about maintaining it for the 38 games, and that is something that at times they've struggled with, and that's why they haven't won the Premier League for so long. So maybe this year is going to be different for them. You sense there's a little bit more focus in what they're doing at the moment.
And finally for me then, how do you go about stopping the likes of Alexis Sanchez and Mesut Ozil, the two
very difficult. Yeah, very difficult. They're top level players, and you have to be vigilant. You have to make sure that you don't allow them any clear-cut chances. Clearly, once they get momentum in the game, then they can overpower you. But I think the key is that you give yourself an opportunity to win the game or get something out of the game yourself. Don't allow them too much momentum in the game. If you can do that, then sometimes you can frustrate the crowd as well. It's not the most vociferous places to go, so you can use that to your benefit, and we're going to have a great following there as well. So I think the key is stay in the game and take your chances when they present themselves, and keep chances at the other end to a minimum if you can.
Tactically, will you be tempted to play the same sort of way you have been? I mean, obviously one defeated 9 with Shaqiri roaming about at the front, or will you go with a more defensive mindset?
Well, we've had a couple of good results playing one way. We've had a number of good results playing another way. So we've got plan A, plan B. I think you need that. You need that flexibility in terms of which way you can go in the Premier League, and it's always dependent on the personnel that's available. And we've got a few absentees, so sometimes your hand is led to a certain extent by who's available. But irrespective of who we play, I think we're comfortable now with wherever formation we play. So whichever formation we go with, I think we can be effective against opposition in the Premier League. So it's about just making sure that we get the personnel right and players in key positions, which obviously will affect if you can be happy with your performance or be able to create a good performance. You've got to get the key positions correct. If you get those right in terms of performance and personnel performing well, then you've got a good chance. But as with all systems and formations, it's very much about the players making it happen, and that's what we've been able to do in recent weeks.
You talked earlier on about the hoodoo you've got there, not one since 81, but Middlesbrough went there in October and were very, very good defensively and offensively. Is that the kind of model you'd like to sort of follow, possibly?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to have a good performance in terms of restricting them to few and far between chances if you can. It's not easy because like I said, they're playing well at the moment, and they've got individuals that have got talent that can hurt you. But I think the key is just to remain in the game. I think if you look back at our performance against Manchester United early in the year, we came under a little bit of pressure in the opening period, but withstood that. Lee Grant made a couple of really key saves in that opening period. We kept them out, and from that point onwards we built a performance, and really we're quite comfortable from that point onwards. And so that's the key. You've got to start well, you've got to match what they throw at you, and then stay in the game, as I said, and then build your performance from that point.
How frustrating is it for you and Jack Butland to this injury to keep going on, because he's had a sort of slight breakdown and the time seems to be going on? Are there real concerns about him getting back fully?
No, there's no concern. We're a little bit frustrated, I think, because we've had a couple of setbacks, and Jack clearly wants to get back as soon as possible, and the key is that he doesn't push himself too quickly, too soon, because that's always a danger when you've got the enthusiasm to get back. But we're getting to the bottom of it. The setback was clearly that we'd lined up a game for him, and he wasn't able to take part in the under-23 game at Reading. So that was a disappointment, but I think he did the right thing. He just felt a little bit of discomfort, so we're not taking any chances with Jack at the moment. Any issues, then we stop very quickly and make sure that we understand what's going on. So that's what we did. We calmed it down again, and now he'll start building up to get game time again, and once he gets games under his belt, he should be back.
Thank you.
Mark, since the Old Trafford draw, you've had a run of 7 games, 5 wins and a draw, which has been absolutely excellent. How much is that a springboard for the type of season that you're going to be having, do you think?
Well, I mean, we needed to get back on track, so clearly we've done that, and we're in a good position. We're almost exactly where we felt we would be after 14 games or so. So we're on track again, and I think last year we had a really good, strong Christmas period. So we're looking for another period of games where we can pick up good points. We've had a great run, but we want us to continue. Clearly, the longer we have this run continuing, then the better from our point of view. I think it was important that we bounced back after the defeat at Bournemouth and reacted really, really well and strongly to that disappointment, and got back on track. So that's important, because we're not going to win every game from now to the end of the season, clearly. So there are going to be games where we don't win, but I think it's important that we have the ability to bounce back quickly, and we've shown that already and shown that in the past. So that's a good trait to have.
How are you looking at the Christmas period? Because you've got 3 home games against the likes of Southampton and Leicester, but you've got 3 what I would describe as nightmare away games at Arsenal, Leicester, and Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea.
Yeah, they're not easy games, clearly, but Arsenal we've discussed already. We haven't had a great return in terms of points from the Emirates, but if you look at the last 2 games at Stamford Bridge and Anfield, we obviously had a great performance against Chelsea, and again a draw, and in the League Cup we beat Liverpool at Anfield, although we didn't go through the competition, got knocked down in penalties. So we have the capability of getting positive results in those games. So we'll use those previous results and performances as a positive to lead into them, and make us understand that we've got real opportunities in those games when maybe people would probably suggest we would struggle. So it's a tough period, clearly, because everybody's playing games in short spaces of time, but we've got enough recovery time in between games to really go for it in each and every one.
And finally, last season you really felt that your season was dominated by a lot of injuries, and it sort of curtailed you towards the end of the season. You've had injuries this season. How do they compare to last season? Do you feel you've been able to ride them more better this season?
Well, we've we've had a couple of long-term injuries. I mean, the obvious one is Jack's injury, which really stopped us in our tracks at the end of last season and took us unawares at the beginning of this season, to be perfectly honest. Clearly, when he was progressing really well, got right through pre-season and then broke down on the eve of the new season. That knocked everybody back. So we hope to obviously get everybody back and have a fair and clear run at the rest of the season in terms of injuries. If we can do that, it's shown time and time again. If you get a settled side and you stay clear of injuries that can hamper you, clearly, then you'll have a more productive season, and that's what we're hoping to have. If we have a fair crack of the whip in terms of injuries, then there's no reason why we can't have an even better season than we did last year. Okay.
Thanks, folks.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.